Like, they're suing me for something I didn't do. Like, on God. It's just the most bull thing. And I literally had to pay them a lot of money.
I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw, he came to my ears and whispered, "Please be easy on me." He thought I'm Mike Tyson and I will follow his script 40 seconds after I broke the clown's jaw. We are boxers, not content creators.
This is the point where online speculation really starts to snowball. Some people are now claiming that the World Boxing Council could even review the Paul Joshua fight amid allegations that the outcome was prearranged. To be clear, these are only rumors at this stage, but they're gaining traction quickly across the internet.
People can't speak. Yeah, but it's obviously scripted, isn't it? I'm like, no. One, that's illegal. I mean, this is a professional contest. Two, we would never sign up to anything that's going to make AJ look bad or devalue him, lose rounds, go loads of rounds.
Do you think there's any world in which AJ pulls back, though?
No, absolutely. He couldn't do that as a fighter. He would be incapable of going in there and...
Some fans online think Jake may have tried to send subtle signals during the fight, pointing to his familiar tongue-out gesture, something they interpret as a silent everything's fine cue. This time, though, Anthony Joshua didn't respond to anything like that. There was no easing up, no hesitation, and no acknowledgement, just straight, uncompromising boxing that if there was ever any kind of plan or expectation, Joshua showed no interest in following it and instead fought entirely on his own terms.
Day after I woke up and told my wife, why did I do that? I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on. I remember one thing, I had a very hard moment in that part of my life, but I assure you in that age, I could have put that clown in the first round, but I sold my soul, and I'm ashamed of it.
That's why so many people are drawing comparisons to the Paul-Mike Tyson matchup, which many fans felt came across as staged, especially after claims surfaced about a full script allegedly leaking online. Whether any of that is true remains unproven. But the optics alone aren't good, because if boxing authorities even begin to suspect that a fight was prearranged, it becomes a serious issue with major consequences for everyone involved.
I believe that Anthony Joshua won the fight fair and square until people online started claiming that Jake Paul's fight was fixed. They started saying there was a secret backdoor agreement that Anthony Joshua would be able to beat Jake Paul in the 6th round, and that's when Jake Paul's lawyer started to get involved. Jake Paul's promoter, Nakisa Badarian, says these claims are completely false about Jake Paul's fight being fixed. He also said that their attorneys are now actively going after people that are saying that the fight was fixed. He said fixing a professional boxing match is a federal crime, and this did not happen at all. He claims that Anthony Joshua went on record before the fight saying that anything less than a knockout to him would be considered failure. People still say that Anthony Joshua waited until the 6th round to make Jake Paul look better, the fact that he didn't lose in the 1st round like a lot of people thought he would. And now there's a chance that people start to get sued for saying that this fight was fake. But after you leave with a broken jaw, I think it's very hard to say that this fight was fake.
But once someone walks away with a shattered jaw, it becomes very difficult to argue that the fight was staged. And here's the irony. If there ever was a script, Joshua tearing it up would explain why everything unraveled. One fighter may have been trying to play a role, while the other simply showed up to fight at that point. The discussion stopped being about scorecards or round one. It turned into a bigger question, whether boxing was on the verge of becoming scripted entertainment, only to be pulled back by the harsh reality of real punches and real consequences.
Are you telling me that Netflix probably emphasized, listen guys, take this as long as you can?
Yeah. So the bottom line is you take nothing from this. It was an entertainment product designed to get Netflix
But last week you said it wasn't scripted.
I think that ultimately Anthony Joshua's approach to it was what I said at the beginning. What I said was,
now you're telling us Netflix passed on a message.
I'm saying that Netflix's modus operandi is to operate with this kind of principle, which is stretch the entertainment. Anthony Joshua goes in. I framed the question to these boys that have been in the ring. Could he go in there on an under-aroused mindset because he knows what he's dealing with? No. He goes in as a killer. He went in there with a mindset, knowing what he was dealing with, and took his time and had no reason to do anything other than get him out of there when he felt like.
After all the noise about scripted fights, hidden signals, and Netflix-style theories, Chael Sonnen stepped in and completely reframed the discussion. He wasn't interested in contracts or conspiracy talk. His focus was survival. And honestly, listening to him made everything click. Chael's message was simple. Forget the scripts, ignore the betting odds, and tune out the social media detectives. What we actually saw was Jake Paul realizing, in real time, that boxing at this level isn't something you can control with confidence or hype. This wasn't planned movement or choreography, it was crisis management. It was a fighter trying to stay alive in a situation that had spun beyond his control.
These guys fought. That was not a boxing match. It just wasn't. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there, and he was moving as such. He was staying away from him. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this athletic competition, and then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again. I mean, he was fighting. Then it turns to where he can't stay away anymore. So now he's got to go the other way. He's got to go forward. So now he's clinching him. Now he's dropping down to his knees. He's going below the waist. He's getting to double leg positions. He was fighting.
Jake wasn't performing. He was thinking, measuring distance, slipping out of danger, stepping in just long enough to land something, then retreating fast. Chael's point hits hard here. Anyone calling this fake has never been hunted by real consequences. Fighters don't clinch, grab, change levels, or fight gravity because it's scripted. They do it because the man in front of them, Anthony Joshua, can shut everything off with one punch. Chael also acknowledged how uncomfortable it was to watch Joshua stay patient instead of rushing the finish. But he respected it. AJ read the moment, trusted the clock, and allowed reality, not force, to decide the outcome.
These guys were Jake was fighting for his survival, and you could so see it. You could see this animal who's been caged and is just trying to make it through, not even kill its prey, just make it through. And it was incredible. It was really incredible. So on the back end, some of the comments that I made or that I had heard were so confusing to me. It was a very good competition. I will tell you, it breaks my heart too that Anthony Joshua can't get him out of there in one round.
That wasn't hesitation. That was veteran composure. When Chael describes Jake as fighting to survive, it doesn't come off as exaggeration. It feels real. There were no dramatic highlights, no cinematic moments, just someone trying to endure against an opponent who was larger, stronger, and vastly more experienced. People can debate technique and rankings endlessly, but fear can't be staged. Exhaustion can't be faked. And that split second when survival instincts take control is impossible to manufacture. Chael summed it up simply, without trying to sound poetic. It may not have been high-level boxing, but anyone claiming it wasn't a real fight has clearly never been in one themselves.
And he even went out with style. He went down and had the sense to look over to his brother in his corner and go, wow, that guy's got good power, right? Whatever it was he mouthed, but there was every part of it was beautiful. Every part of it was like a dream, like what you would envision. It was incredible. The whole night was incredible. And any boxer that wants to say, well, that wasn't high-level boxing, go ahead. I won't argue with you. But any human that says that wasn't a fight, yeah, it was a fight.
Right after Chael Sonnen gives his take from the perspective of someone who truly understands fear, Adam Booth steps in with a calm, precise breakdown that makes you stop and listen. Booth doesn't exaggerate or take sides. He isn't protecting Jake, and he isn't glorifying AJ. He's simply describing what actually happened in the ring. What he sees as a former child start knowingly stepping into dangerous territory and learning hard truths in real time. And this is where Booth's point really lands. When he mentions Jake forcing Anthony Joshua to miss, that isn't internet hype or sympathy praise. That's technical acknowledgement. Making a two-time heavyweight champion miss clean shots at close range isn't accidental. It requires timing, awareness, and a strong survival instinct working together.
He's from the 6 rounds that we saw, presuming you watched.
I was impressed with Jake Paul. I thought that, following on from what we're saying, right? A few years ago, he was on Disney as a kid, acting up, and has decided to become a professional fighter. that takes balls. He's obviously striving to be as good as he can be. You can see that in the way that he moves, the way that he is developed in how he's punching and performing. But to make a two-time world heavyweight champion that's still live, AJ's still got something about him, to make him miss in such an accomplished manner. All right, so at times he was jumping out and running around, but there were times when he was well in range and still making AJ unable to land a clean, solid shot. He deserves a lot of respect.
Sure, Jake spent parts of the fight on the move, but Booth nails why that happened. In a large ring against a bigger, stronger opponent, your choices are limited. Either sprint and risk looking foolish, or stay patient and let endurance become the story. Joshua opted for patience, Jake chose motion, and the result was inevitable. Booth also reminds viewers that the punch which broke Jake's jaw has knocked out seasoned heavyweights before. Yet Jake stayed on his feet, grinning through the pain and even spitting blood as if earning a badge of survival. That wasn't acting, it was a rare kind of fearless determination. He doesn't claim Jake is suddenly an elite fighter, but he makes one thing clear. This wasn't smoke and mirrors. It was a novice stepping far beyond his comfort zone and lasting longer than expected. Booth's offhand remark about Tyson Fury watching this and thinking, "If Jake can make a miss, I'm not concerned," is chilling in its simplicity. No hype, no conspiracies, just the cold, hard logic of boxing. Jake survived. AJ controlled the fight. Experience made the difference, and the layers of skill, risk, and endurance unfolded before us, painfully and honestly.
I was impressed with is when that distance closed down and AJ was in range, he still made it difficult for AJ to land a clean shot until eventually he got tired. AJ had worn him out enough and he took the clean one.
I mean, AJ's become a once-a-year fighter. I know the rumoured Tyson Fury date is September. Could he walk into the Tyson Fury fight in September, or does he need to fight in between?
Can he walk into it? They both walk into it. That fight's always been there for both of them.
No, but I mean, like, off the back of knocking Jake Paul out in 6 rounds, can you go into a Tyson Fury
It's
fight?
not just off the back of that, though. It's off the back of his entire pro career.
That was 15 months out of the ring this morning. I mean, I suppose he could, but...
It's going to happen. It's a fight that we wanted to see a long time ago, when at least one of them had a belt, but we'll still take it.
Yeah. What do you think Tyson's thinking, watching that this morning?
Probably thinking if Jake Paul can make him miss, ain't got a prayer landed on me. It's probably what he's thinking.
Right after Adam Booth broke down how Jake forced AJ to miss without turning it into hype, Frank Smith jumped in, taking aim at the critics. And this is where the chatter gets cut off. Listening to Frank, it's clear some people are watching the clock instead of the fight. He emphasizes that this wasn't Anthony Joshua struggling. It was Joshua executing his game plan. He didn't enter the ring chasing the fastest knockout. He was running drills he had perfected for months, treating Jake as a live, unpredictable challenge rather than a joke. And here's what gets overlooked. Jake wasn't just standing there waiting to get hit. He moved, changed levels, grabbed, disrupted rhythm, basically turning the ring into a chaotic obstacle course. Frank's main point hits hard. You can't judge a heavyweight's skill ceiling based on a fight where the opponent refuses to fight like a proper heavyweight. That's like criticizing a lion for not immediately catching a scooter. Joshua stayed composed, professional, patient, and in the end, he was right.
Did shows a lot of balls and a lot of heart. AJ went in there and he delivered what he said he'd do. He broke his jaw. It's a brutal game we're in, and I think what you saw with AJ, the truth is it wasn't a proper fight, if that makes sense. Jake Paul was running around, laid on jumped on his knees a few times. I think it was 12 takedown attempts or something. So it wasn't, you can't compare it to a proper fight. Yeah. But AJ went in there with the mentality of a proper fight, which probably didn't align with what it was. AJ's obviously been in camp with Usyk's team, and you saw him. It wasn't like he went in there with the fact of, I'm going in there against a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. He just put everything into practice that he'd been learning over the last 14, 16, 18 weeks, or he'd been practicing.
I also like how Frank doesn't shy away from giving Jake Paul credit, because that's usually where debates fall apart. He says it plainly. No one wants to be in the ring getting their jaw smashed by Anthony Joshua. Yet Jake kept getting back up. That tongue-out moment everyone laughs about, Frank calls it exactly what it was. Poking the bear with a broken fence behind you. Funny online, dangerous in reality. AS for critics who act like lasting 6 rounds is a strike against Joshua. Frank shuts that down completely. This wasn't a test for Tyson Fury or a championship-level strategy game. It was a professional heavyweight managing chaos and finishing the fight when the opening finally presented itself. When Frank points out that this doesn't diminish AJ's readiness for elite matchups, he's right. A fighter's career isn't erased because someone survived longer than expected. Joshua broke the jaw, controlled the fight, and walked away unscathed. Jake showed heart, AJ showed mastery, and the internet, well, it once again proved it loves debating how quickly something should have ended instead of appreciating how it actually played out.
They composed and then, was looking for those knockout shots.
Yeah, so do you not see a concern of how long the fight went?
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can compare, I don't think you can use it to compare it to a high-level professional heavyweight fight. But that's not taking any away from what Jake Paul did. Don't like respect to him for standing up. No, I wouldn't want to be in there getting my jaw broken by Anthony Joshua. But I don't think you can use it as a bar to say, in the Tyson Fury fight, it's completely different worlds. Because you'd have a guy actually fighting you there. I mean, Jake Paul hit him.
You put it all together. The script rumors, tongue signal theories, betting chatter, expert breakdowns, common analyses, and emotional takes. It all points to the same truth. This fight highlighted the line between spectacle and reality. Jake Paul showed courage, growth, and survival instincts that earn respect. But Anthony Joshua reminded everyone why boxing doesn't bend to a storyline. You can plan moments, hype drama, and stretch a narrative, but the moment a heavyweight decides it's time to end the fight, any script disappears instantly. This wasn't about rounds, odds, or viral clips. It was about experience, catching motion, patience prevailing over chaos, and real boxing proving that it still hits hard when things get too flashy.
You were saying that he got hit by... you're having like someone's punching you.
Yeah.
So, you're going to get caught 1 or 2 times.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn. Was this a lesson learned, a warning ignored, or just another chapter in boxing's complicated dance with entertainment? Share your thoughts. In the comments, debate it, break it down, let us know what you think. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss our next video.